I've been looking forward to the MacForum today since it gives me an opportunity to outline a clear statement of Apple's direction. And at a time when the phenomenal growth of our industry has taken a pause, and at a time when Apple's future is being challenged more than ever before, it's clear to me that our management policies must be articulate and decisive. And during the next 20 minutes, I want to tell you about important refinements that we've made in our strategy, refinements which will dramatically strengthen our relationships with two key groups, our dealer base and our third-party developers. And I want you to understand why we believe our recent reorganization and these strengthened relationships will make Apple a stronger, more mature company that will remain a leader in the personal computer industry. But first, let me tell you what Apple is not changing. And that is our vision as a company, or our commitment to the Apple II and the Macintosh product lines. We remain a company that believes in the power of personal computers for individuals. And we believe that our basic technologies are right for the market, both today and in the future. But we're also realistic that we must become more market-driven if we are to achieve our full potential as a leader in the personal computer industry. And we are also a company that recognized we needed to streamline our organization, not only to reduce operating expenses, but also to sharpen our management focus and increase the appreciation for accountability throughout our company. Now, a functional organization in a Fortune 500 company as large and as complex as Apple is today requires a level of management experience and a degree of process that is usually not found or needed in smaller entrepreneurial companies. And since the beginning of 1985, I have been consolidating operations, identifying the most experienced managers inside Apple, and reaching to the outside for new managers capable of effectively working in a more disciplined, process-driven organization. You know, it's easy to say these steps will make Apple bureaucratic. It's a condition we're going to work very hard to avoid. But I believe that consistent and more sharply defined strategies and policies, and a more experienced middle management team, and a more disciplined environment will actually help us get innovative things done quickly and effectively. And we're now going to be managing Apple as a streamlined organization with far fewer people. In our new organization, I'm relying very heavily on seasoned executives like Del Yoakum, who is Group Executive for all product operations, and Dave Barham, who joined Apple a few months ago as Chief Financial Officer. Both these managers are experienced computer industry executives and outstanding managers as well. And getting the right process in place and making it work will be part of their jobs over the next 6 months. Now, I have appointed Jean-Louis Gasset as Vice President of Product Development because I believe he has a special appreciation for customer needs and a passion for great products, and he shares my belief that there's a lot of technical talent in the industry outside of Apple that's willing and interested in working with us if it's really clear that we want them to. And you will quickly see an Apple computer company that will be listening more to the needs of our customers in terms of what they want our products to be able to do. And you will also see us rapidly building bridges with third-party developers in order to broaden the product solutions available to the marketplace. And this means we want to significantly improve our working relationship with third-party peripheral and software companies that can add the greatest value to our Apple II and Macintosh products. Now, there's good precedent for this approach, and it can be found in the roots of Apple back in the early days of the Apple II. With these working relationships with third-party developers in mind, I've asked our General Counsel, Al Eisenstadt, to play a major role as my key executive in charge of defining and formalizing all outside agreements. We want to actively build bridges starting now with other companies. And as part of our efforts to rely more heavily on third-party developers over the next several years, you'll see us take steps to make it easier for other companies to connect their products with ours. These steps will include a gradual transition to selective industry protocol standards, as well as a new priority in the future for workstation expandability. Apple Computer will be a market-driven company. This doesn't infer in any way that we'll compromise in building great innovative products, because innovation will still be a driving force for our company. But being market-driven means we will adopt innovation to the needs of the market. For example, it's quite clear in the past 6 months that an important class of dealers has emerged, the so-called full-service systems integrators, who are successfully selling to the business market with their own outside sales forces. And if Apple is to be a part of this important emerging channel, then we must offer this group of business dealers hardware peripherals, business software, and the ability for our products to connect up with IBM-compatible personal computers as well as larger computer systems. These peripheral products do not necessarily have to be Apple-branded products as long as they come from companies that dealers can trust. And obviously, if dealers know Apple is working closely with some of these developers, it will greatly increase the confidence of both dealers and customers in these products. During the next several months, you can expect to see Apple greatly increase its commitment to the success of the dealer base. Dealers will know without a doubt that Apple expects to reach its markets primarily through the dealer channel. They'll see sales and marketing programs designed with dealers' success in mind, and we expect to see increased dealer efforts to sell Apple products. And this recognition of the dealer base as our primary distribution channel was one of the main reasons we centralized all U.S. marketing and sales under Bill Campbell, who has an expanded role as group executive. Now, Bill was the first top executive that I recruited when I joined Apple. And in the past 2 years, he's developed a well-deserved reputation both inside Apple and in the industry as a strong and disciplined leader. And along with Mike Spindler, who heads our international group, our sales efforts throughout the world will be based on the dealer channel. These senior managers are experienced and highly respected executives with a no-nonsense attitude about getting things done effectively. Well, over the past 2 weeks, Bill Campbell and I have spent a great deal of time meeting with groups of dealers, which include independents, chains, and those dealers who concentrate directly on business. And I have shared with them the directions that I intend to take our company, and in return received a great deal of constructive input. And I'd like to outline for you now the framework of Apple's new directions in selling. First, we will clear up the channel conflicts between dealers and Apple's own national account sales organizations starting now. Effective July 1st, Apple will primarily focus its selling efforts through dealers, and this means that except for a small number of contractual agreements already in place, virtually all Apple-branded Office products sales to large companies will be made by dealers. Now, this doesn't mean we'll lessen our commitment to those few major accounts we now work with directly. We'll continue to increase our value to these select customers and work with them as partners to provide them with the solutions they need. We have developed some very significant relationships with a few of the premier companies in American business. Peat, Marwick, and Mitchell is an excellent example of a company that saw real merits with Macintosh technology. And they took the risk to be an innovator. And we don't have any intention in abandoning them now. So for companies like Peat, Marwick, and Mitchell, we will, of course, continue to work directly with them with as much commitment as we would have before this policy change. But we want to make it very clear, starting today, that the way for businesses to work with Apple is through its network of dealers. In turn, we will continue to aid and support our dealers by providing corporate briefings for dealers who bring their customers to Apple, and we will assist dealers on sales calls selectively as needed. The purpose of this relationship is to give those business customers that require it the confidence of knowing precisely where Apple is going and to help dealers expand their sales with business. In effect, We're giving up Apple's small 60-person direct sales channel to corporate America, and in its place are taking steps to sell to business through the over 2,000 outbound salespeople that make up the selling network of Apple business dealers. Business dealers have already proved they can effectively sell personal computer systems to large companies. In fact, about 30% of all personal computers bought by large companies are purchased through dealers. But so far, Apple has accounted for a small part of their total sales, and we want to change that situation starting now. Second, we'll strengthen dealers' ability to sell to business. Now, as a statement of direction, we want to see more peripherals and accessory products from both Apple and third-party developers that will enable those Apple dealers who are systems integrators to add more distinctive value for their business customers. Over time, we would expect to see some selected Apple products which would be distributed only through those dealers who are full-service systems integrators. These dealers will emerge as a separate and distinctive class of dealers, and we intend to recognize their needs as being different, and we'll be defining specific strategies and policies for them in the months ahead. Third, it's well known that Apple enjoys a strong, loyal following in education. Our K through 12 sales remain extremely healthy, and we have successfully created a method of selling that lets us work directly with large educational accounts while making the dealer an integral part of the total selling, training, and equipment installation process. And with this experience as a model, we will be making a transition in our university and college sales from a direct-only to a selling approach which includes the dealer in the process. Now, while we will, of course, honor all contractual agreements we have with the 24 members of our Apple University Consortium, we'll work even more closely with them to monitor resale policies. Fourth, a market-driven company must offer strong marketing programs for its customers and dealers. Therefore, effective July 1st, we will begin the first marketing push for Macintosh that recognizes dealers' needs for flexibility in customizing their programs. And at the same time, we want to expand the 512K and second disk drive installed base because of its importance to the new power user software applications that are already shipping this summer. We'll actively support our marketing program with highly visible yet carefully focused advertising efforts. The marketing message for Macintosh that has largely focused on ease of use will now begin to shift its emphasis to the power of the Macintosh system with the hardware peripherals and power software now in the market. Up until now, many users felt they had to make a trade-off between ease of use and real functionality for the power user. With all that's been written about the personal computer industry and Apple, it may be escaping the attention of many that the promise of the Macintosh computer as a true power tool for the mind is now a reality with products that are actually shipping. And as 1985 unfolds, more power user software will rapidly become available, and we will be shipping an Apple-branded Direct Connect hard disk for Macintosh this October. And it is still our intent to bring an Apple-branded file server to the marketplace as soon as we can. And in addition, we are actively in discussions with third-party developers to create server products and network services which will add value to our Macintosh workstations and LaserWriter printer. And you can also expect to see marketing programs later this summer which will include the Apple IIc and Apple IIe. The Apple IIe professional system continues to sell well to small and family businesses, and you will not see us arbitrarily restrict the Apple II to just education and home. The Apple II does have a tremendous loyalty with educators, and you will see us put increasing emphasis on this strength in our marketing programs later this summer. In summary, Apple's two primary market priorities are education and business through dealers. And we'll, of course, continue to put special market effort against the consumer market to leverage our product and market positions in education and business. And we'll put better focus on these markets beginning immediately. Finally, a few words about are directions in the future. I believe that value-added resellers are going to play an increasingly important role in our industry. Now, we're extremely enthusiastic about the telecommunications alliance that Apple has with General Electric Information Services, since it creates both a new important market segment and is philosophically consistent with our interest in having others who add value to the end business user customer. Now, I think it's reasonable to expect that many Apple business dealers in the future will either become value-added resellers themselves, thereby adding distinctive value for their business customers, or will become a sales channel for selective VAR products. In any event, the increased trend towards vertical solutions, which can take the form of either templates on popular business software or special purpose vertical software, will be important in our future. Therefore, we're establishing a high engineering priority to simplify the development tools for those who want to write Macintosh. Now, inside Macintosh, which is our development tools for Macintosh software, has been extremely important. But I believe there is a real market need for even easier to use software tools which can be used by value-added resellers, by business dealers, and others who want to write Macintosh software. Too often, a lot of us have spent too much time talking about what we will do in the future as opposed to focusing on the strengths of what we really offer today. Therefore, we'll talk less about next year's products, while at the same time we will try to do a better job on a non-disclosure basis in keeping third-party developers informed on where we're going with future products. And I should also point out that it moves to streamline Apple's expenses that we do not plan to cut back on our efforts to develop enhancements and new products for both the Apple II and Macintosh product families. At a time when some industry commentators are seriously questioning whether the personal computer industry is reaching saturation and are pointing out that some personal computers are gathering dust on executives' desks, there's probably no message that Apple can make that's more relevant than restating the premise of our product strategies. We are a company that builds personal computers for individuals. This is because we firmly believe that the information revolution is one that will touch the lives of individuals even more than it will affect institutions. A personal computer can be far more than a smaller version of its larger mini and mainframe cousins. Macintosh was created to be the power tool for the mind, just as the automobile and airplane have been power tools for the body. And as a power tool for the mind, a personal computer has barely begun to realize its potential to create new markets which will dramatically change the way we think and communicate and learn and play. And by making Macintosh easy to use, we not only have created a landmark user interface that can bring personal computing to many who otherwise would have been intimidated by the complexity of computers, but we're now making it intuitive for even the power users. Seems almost an injustice that at the point when we and third-party developers can finally offer the marketplace genuine, intuitive power user solutions, that people are hesitating to buy. Is it because the marketplace is saturated, or that these solutions are not the right ones? No, I don't believe so. I believe if we restore people's confidence in Apple as a company, and if we all stop talking about what we think is coming next and start focusing on the value of what we can offer people right now, which is a lot, then we can get things moving again. My goal today is to let you know that we are one Apple. We put our individual egos aside and we are putting teamwork in its place. I came to Apple because I saw the possibilities in this company and this industry to do incredible things. Well, it's clear that we're going to have to do incredible things right now in order to continue to succeed. And that starts with clearing up ambiguities in Apple's directions, clearing up channel conflicts, and getting the message out to all who are interested that Apple intends to be a constructive player in this industry. But we will only do this successfully if we can quickly marshal the confidence and commitment of dealers and developers who recognize that Apple's success is as important to them as it is to us. Many of those key players are here at this MacForum, and I hope it is very clear to them that we are taking these major policy steps in order to strengthen our relationship with them and become a better market-driven, customer-oriented company with a genuine commitment to the dealer system of selling. Now, we're solid in our commitments. We're firm in our product foundations and confident that with strong partnerships with dealers and developers, we'll remain a leader in the personal computer industry. Thank you very much.